Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is the video that I have been waiting for. I've been wanting to film this basically all year because I get super excited about my eyeshadow palette collection. So it's filmed. If you're ready, if you have some time, and let's hang out for the next hour or two. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is KARENHARRIS. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on YouTube. I do post quite often, so highly recommend subscribing, turning on that bell so you're notified every time I post. And if you could do me one more favor and watch this video all the way to the end, it really helps me out. And without further blabbering, let's get into it. Okay, you guys, this is gonna be my last video of 2023 and I'm so excited that it's my eyeshadow palette collection video. I definitely feel like this is gonna be entertaining for y'all, so definitely grab a cozy blanket, maybe some headphones, and let's just hang out for the next couple hours. It's gonna be fabulous. I'm so excited because I was slowly getting really overwhelmed with my collection. A lot of my kind of anxiety was coming from storage because I just had palettes piled on top of each other. I store all my palettes on bookcases, and I had two big Billy bookcases from IKEA. Not all of it was for eyeshadow. I did have some books on it, but a majority of it was eyeshadows. And then my mini eyeshadow palette collection, so smaller palettes. I had two full drawers in my Alex drawers that is part of my makeup desk, and honestly it was just like palettes piled on top of each other again. I couldn't even see what I had, and so this has just been a long time coming. I feel like a lot of people put in their thumbnails like brutal declutter and like biggest declutter ever, but I feel like this is truly one of the biggest declutters I've done, especially in the eyeshadow palette category. I'm one of those people that holds on to things because, first of all, a majority of the makeup I have I bought with my own money, and I do talk about eyeshadow palettes a lot on my channel, so I kept holding on to them because I'm like, oh, I want to compare, I wanted this, I wanted that. First of all, a lot of these are brands that I just don't even hear from anymore, like BH Cosmetics. Like, where did they go? Will they ever make a comeback? Will I ever regret getting rid of all of my BH Cosmetics palettes? I don't know. I feel like I'm not going to, but you know, it's time. For a lot of these brands, I'm just no longer interested. I really wanted to like hone in on keeping the things from my favorite brands and to make room for, you know, future launches. I don't know what 2024 is going to bring. I feel like brands are going to slow down. I feel like that's what we should expect, is that brands are going to slow down. We're going to have fewer but nicer launches. But I feel like 2023, 2022, maybe even 2021, like the industry was just like booming. So people felt the pressure to keep up, and there's so many new brands coming out every day, new releases, new brands. So many things are happening in the industry, especially in the indie market, that I wanted to slow down, but I don't know if it's going to. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think brands will stop producing eyeshadow palettes as frequently? Which honestly, as like an eyeshadow palette junkie, it kind of does make me a little bit sad. So I don't know what to expect, but all I know is I really did my best to evaluate if I had used these products, if I saw any use for these products. Am I into this brand? Am I over this brand? So there's going to be some brands where I got rid of a lot of the palettes. So I think you guys are going to enjoy this. I had a lot of fun. I enjoy watching eyeshadow palette collection videos. I was definitely inspired by some of my fellow creator friends and their declutters. So this was truly ruthless. I got rid of 300 plus palettes, which is mind-blowing. I think I actually got rid of more palettes than I have in my current collection. I haven't counted my current collection, like the palettes I kept. I'm a little too lazy to do that if I'm being honest, but I'm excited because it feels like a fresh start. So I definitely talked your ear off in this intro. I hope you guys don't mind, But let's go ahead and get into this eyeshadow palette video. I'm so excited. Okay, so let's start off with Pat McGrath. I have the holiday palettes, everything except this year, of course. So I don't even know, was this one last year? I can't remember, but here's one of them. Super pretty and colorful. We have this one. This one had the weird placement. And then this was the first ever holiday palette that was like this bigger size. Super pretty shades. I've got the Bridgerton ones. I almost decluttered these, and then I was like, I've already spent the money and I really like the show, so I decided to keep them. But I feel like if it wasn't for my collection, I would actually probably declutter these too. I also have these like old holiday collections. I think this was her first ever holiday collection. She came out with 3 of these. If you guys have any of these, I would love to hear if you do any of these palettes that you can't buy anymore. This is a really pretty color story as well. I literally just keep them because you can't buy them anymore. This is the Star Wars one. I feel like I saw that she maybe had like a release of some kind of vault. I don't know if that's a thing that I saw, but these are all limited edition palettes that I don't think you can get anymore. And then of course I have all the motherships. So this is Sublime. I remember buying Pat McGrath before she was super hyped on YouTube. I had a friend that I still remember, she sent me the post about the brand and I was like, could it possibly be worth the price? So I bought the first 3 palettes when they first launched. So I have some of them tagged because they're so hard to tell like which one's which. So I did use a label maker. I think this is the newest one. This is Mothership 11, I believe. And I think I just told myself like I'm not gonna buy any more of these because they've all been like pink tones. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna buy another one unless she switches up the color story, and I completely skipped out on her holiday launch, which is not like me at all. And then this is Midnight Sun, another really pretty color story. I ranked all of my Pat McGrath palettes a while ago, but I should probably re-rank them. But there's so many brands that I want to do rankings of, but that is my big old Pat McGrath collection. So I think when I filmed my 2022 eyeshadow palette collection, I had set these aside so I could rank all my pastel palettes. Obviously, that never got filmed, and I have all of these set aside still. So let's go ahead and go through them quick. So this is the Creepy Cute from Shroud Cosmetics. This is when they were called Strobe Cosmetics. So I bought this one with my own money, and I'm actually an affiliate of Strobe Cosmetics or Shroud Cosmetics. So if I have affiliate codes, I will throw them down on the corner for you guys. This one I also bought, but was also sent to me from Unicorn Cosmetics. This is the Angel palette. I haven't seen anything launch from them in a while, so I don't even know if they are still a brand. I think I might actually declutter this one because I have acquired a lot of beautiful pastel palettes since I created this corner in my room. So yeah, that's probably gonna go. This is another one that's probably gonna go. This is a BH Cosmetics palette, the 90s palette. I feel like BH Cosmetics is truly done for at this point, so I'm not gonna hold on to these, even though I could probably include them in a ranking. This is another BH palette. This is Lost in Los Angeles, and it's super pretty, but again, I just don't need it. I'm gonna keep this Natasha Denona palette because Natasha Denona is one of my favorite brands, so I'm gonna hold on to that one. And I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one. This is the pastel palette from Profusion. It's $5 at the drugstore. I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one as well from Lethal Cosmetics. It's really cute, but I haven't reached for it, so I might as well pass it on. I'm gonna declutter this one too. This is from Give Me Glow. I used to be so into Give Me Glow, and I used to buy every single palette that they ever launched, but I just haven't really been interested in them, and they're trying new things, which I think is really cool, but I don't know. I'm just ready to move on. This is such a cute pastel palette from Unearthly. I just don't think they sell this one anymore, so I'm tempted to keep it just to keep my Unearthly collection nice and robust, especially if they bring this back. But I'm also like, should I keep it? I'll keep it for now. We'll see. Okay, this is from Martine Cosmetics, and oh my gosh, can I even open this? This is their diner themed palette. It's so cute. I have quite a few Martine Cosmetics palettes. They're a indie brand based in Europe, and so cute. Love the themes that they do, and yeah, I've just acquired quite a few of them. I'm gonna keep this one, and I'm gonna put it in with my other Martine palettes once I reorganize my collection. This one, I don't know if SugarDrizzle is still making this. This is their Sweet Dreams palette. It's a beautiful all shimmer palette. I think I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm gonna check and see if they still like make this. But it's so cute, and I love all the shades. We have this one from Juvia's Place. If you can't tell, it's completely like untouched, so I'm gonna keep this and try it out eventually, hopefully. This is another indie brand that I just haven't really been purchasing from. This is the Pastel Pop palette from Menagerie. They have these really cute like animal themed palettes, so I think I'm actually gonna pass this on to another home as well. Okay, so I think these are all of my Huda palettes minus the one from this holiday, which you'll see in another pile because I have my November eyeshadow ranking set aside, so you'll see it in a different pile. But I have all her large palettes. She's very relevant on my channel because I do enjoy her products. I love that she does one big palette every year, and I would probably declutter some of these if I didn't want to reference them for future videos. But since I will probably pull for these, and I'm pretty sure all of these are still available for purchase, like none of these have been discontinued, so I'm gonna keep all of them. And as far as I can remember, they're all really beautiful, kind of neutral color stories. So if you're ever looking for a solid neutral palette at Sephora, highly recommend checking her out. She also does a lot of sales on her website. So that is my Huda collection, and I'm gonna keep all of them. Okay, so this is most of my Adept collection. Same with this one. I think I have a couple set aside for my November ranking. So this is one of my latest favorites from the brand. I mean, look at this color story. This is Sumerian Sunsets. It is a neutral palette with the most beautiful twists, so I love that so much. I could definitely see myself getting rid of this one if I didn't feature Adept on my channel. This is another very like relevant brand to my channel because I love indie brands, and this is an all shimmer palette from them. I did buy this one with my own money, and it was quite expensive, so I'm not decluttering that. This is one of my favorite palettes in my collection as well, and also from Adept. This is the Arrow inspired palette. So the owner of Adept is, I would say, probably a self-proclaimed nerd. I think it's very obvious with her color stories, and she really likes this show, and I actually used to watch the Arrow quite a bit as well, so I did actually understand some of the references, whereas Sumerian Sunsets totally flew over my head. So it just depends on the day, but this is their first palette. They redid this. This is the Plain Jane remastered. So this is what it looks like. And then let me show you my original copy of the Plain Jane. This is the one that started my love affair with Adept. I was thinking I was going to keep both of these, but now that I opened the original, I feel like I should pass it on. but it's also like makeup history. I don't know. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. I can't really see myself getting rid of a lot of these ones because a lot of these are my favorite brands. So this is the Minka palette. I did eye swatches of this palette, and if you've seen that video, I probably should have known better than to eye swatch all these very shimmer heavy shadows, but I did it for the YouTube fam and I don't regret it. But this is a very shimmer heavy, like neutral palette if you're in the market for one. This is a very pretty palette for purple lovers. This is the Adept Ninhydrin. I also have this one called the Eminent New. This one, I think they did a dark version and a light version, so depending on your skin tone. Another one of my like OG favorites from Adept is the House of L palette. This one was inspired by Superman. Again, another reference that just flies over my head, but this has the most beautiful color story. We also have the Codain palette. I believe this one is discontinued, so I could probably declutter it, but I'm not going to because I'm going to keep it. This one is the La Cienega. Oh, I feel like I butchered that. I'm so sorry, but here's what it looks like. This is definitely for the matte lovers out there, and we've got 5 shimmer shades that you can mix and match. And then last but certainly not least, my prized possession. This is my friend Heather Austin's collab with Adept Cosmetics. Heather sent this to me and I am so grateful that she included me on this PR. So yeah, congratulations to her. And I believe they updated the packaging and this is still in stock on Adept. So if you missed out on round 1, you can still get your hands on it and I highly recommend. Okay, so I think I only have these 2 Tarte palettes in my collection. This is the Man Eater After Dark Volume 1 and Volume 2. I picked this one up this year and I actually think these are decent Tarte palettes, so that's why they stay in my collection. Okay, it's time for the big pile of Natasha Denona palettes. So I honestly don't see myself decluttering any of these, but let's go ahead and take a peek at them. So this is one of the newer ones. This is I Need a Nude, a really pretty kind of cool tone neutral palette. This is the My Dream palette. This is the Glam palette. Probably one of my least favorite Natasha Denona palettes. It's just very cool tone, so I'm not super duper into it. We have the Xenon palette. This is kind of a wild color story as well. We saw so many like 50 Shades of Grey palettes this year, so this is one of them. We have the Zendo palette, one of my favorites from the Midi line. The Retro palette is another really pretty one if you're into those like mauve tones. This is also one of my least favorite midi palettes. This is the Retro palette. It is like so unflattering on my skin tone. So if you also have a similar skin tone and undertone to me, let me know if you like this palette or not. And then we have some of the face and eye palettes. This is the Love palette. I would probably declutter this if I wasn't a YouTuber, but I'm going to hold on to it for referencing. I love these 2 though. These are so beautiful. Great for travel. It's the Natasha Denona Glam face palettes. They did a light and a dark version. And of course, I have both of them. I would probably cry if I ever lost this palette. I really want to try it out because I haven't used it, I don't think, in a couple of years, but I got this one right when it launched. I had my husband buy this for me actually because it was kind of pricey, and so I think he got it for me as like a present. But I love this color story. I'm ready for her to do this again. This is the Metropolis palette, in case you didn't know. Here's another one. This is the Gold palette, a relic from Natasha Denona. It's so like neutral seeming, but it's so grungy. And honestly, just the other day, I was thinking when I was playing with the Gourmand Girls Silent Night palette, I was like, oh my gosh, I know what that palette reminds me of. It reminds me of the Natasha Denona Gold palette. And now that I opened the Gold palette up, look, I have the Gourmand Girls palette and you can't buy the Natasha palette. So I feel like if you were just like really itching for the gold palette, you could get the vibe from the Gourmand Girls palette. The Gourmand Girls palette is gorgeous, by the way. So yeah, it's just a thought I had, but this one definitely has more neutrals in it, but I just wanted to tell you guys that, and we'll see if you agree with me or disagree with me. This is by far her most colorful palette, I would say. This is the Circle Loco. Another one I want to like dig into. We've got the Trio Chrome palette. This is the one where she did her like row of multi-chromes. We've got the Biba palette. Oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't even opened this in like a year. This is such a pretty neutral palette from Natasha. And can we talk about how Natasha Denona started an affiliate program, and I got myself a Natasha Denona discount code, which I'm honestly so proud of, because like never in a million years would you have told me that I would have a Natasha Denona discount code, but I do. So this is the Midi Bronze. This is the Midi Love. I think this was the first one. Oh, this is a Mini Sunrise. Sorry. This is the first one they did in the Midi style, and then they did the Love, right? Or did I just mix those up? I can't remember. Maybe they did Love first. I can't remember. One of my favorite midi sizes, this is the Yucca palette, and this one launched this year. Then we have the Star palette, which honestly I low-key regret, but I feel like this one is the one that got away for so many. And every time I say that, people ask if they can buy this palette from me, and I just can't get rid of it because it's part of my collection. So I'm gonna hold on to it. This is definitely the source of shame in my makeup collection. My husband bought me these in, I don't even know, it's been like a couple of years now as another like gift, and I was so excited because these are so pricey, and as you can see, they're brand new, like untouched Natasha Denona blue, purple, and green brown palettes. So I keep telling myself that I'm gonna find time to do like a series where I just use all of my Natasha Denona palettes, all of my Pat McGrath. Like I'm gonna do this series, and I just never find the time. So fingers crossed that 2024 will be the year that I do that. Okay, so here's a bunch more palettes. We have the Cinnamon Swirl palette from Too Faced. I sort of buy these whenever I'm kind of like interested, and I feel like I should declutter it, but I'm gonna keep it because I still film those videos every now and then. Let's start off with my ABH stuff. So I think I'm gonna declutter some of this stuff because I've held on to it for so long, and I mean, it's like relevant, but like, is it? Like, does anybody care about the Carly Bible ABH palette? I don't think so. So I'm gonna declutter that. I've held on to them for so long, and there's some older palettes from ABH that I kind of regret like decluttering, but I feel like it's time. So this one, I'm not going to declutter. This is the Jackie Aina collab. Obviously you can't buy it anymore, but I'm going to keep it. So I'm also going to keep Subculture just because I love this color story. And I was one of the original people that bought the original palette, and I didn't love the formula, but they reformulated it secretly. And I did get mine at like a TJ Maxx or Marshalls, so I'm going to keep that. This one I feel like people are going to be shocked by, but honestly, I bought this Modern Renaissance when it launched, and I don't know exactly how old it is, but it's old. I don't even think it performs that well anymore. So I'm going to declutter this, which is pretty shocking because I don't think I ever thought I would, but I'm over it. This is the Sultry palette from ABH. I literally bought it when they re-released it just so I could have it in my collection. But honestly, I never use it. I'm going to keep it though because I think the packaging is cute and it's not very old. So these are the newer ABH palettes. This is the, I don't even remember what it's called, the something metals, Rose Metals palette. It's cute. I wish they had some lighter shades in here, but I like it, so I'm going to keep it. And then we have the Cosmos palette, which is kind of fun. I like that they changed up their style. I think it's cute. This one is the, oh my gosh, the Nuevo palette. Looks like that. And then we have the Prism, right? No, the Primrose. This is cute. I don't know why they did like 2 blushes in this. I think it's kind of weird, but I'm going to keep all of the newer ABH palettes. Here's more that I feel like I'm going to declutter. I'm going to keep the Master palette though, because I mean, it's iconic. It's a piece of makeup history. Riviera, I didn't like this one that much. I feel like it's such a like mishmash of a color story. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter that one finally. This one I literally never use. Like you can see, it's brand new. This is the Alyssa Edwards collection, or eyeshadow palette, I should say. So I'm going to pass that one along. And then we have a few more. So we have the Norvina, which I'm also going to declutter because it's old, girl. It's just old. Same with the Soft Glam. I love this. I think I used this on so many people when I did their makeup and stuff for special events, but it's time. This I think is so cute. This is their latest palette, the Fall Romance. And it's just beautiful. Like it's so luxurious looking. So gonna keep that. Oh, I have one more. I think I'm gonna keep this one. This is their collaboration with Amrezy, and it's just so fun. And it's just such a good balance. There's light shades, there's some fun pops of color, some beautiful mattes. So I'm going to hold on to that one for now. We'll see next year. Now, I think we have some Sigma stuff. So let's look at the Sigma stuff. I think I'm going to keep all of it though, because I do reference Sigma a lot on my channel. And so I want to keep them all. This is so beautiful. One of my favorite Sigma palettes to this day. This is the Enchanted palette. And I just love the color story. This is the Warm Neutrals palette. So it looks like that. See, this is why I don't need like the Soft Glam and stuff, because those palettes are so old. I might as well just reach for my Sigma palettes. This is such a beautiful neutral palette from Sigma. This is the Ambiance palette. Look at how stunning this is. Oh my gosh. Another favorite of mine. I don't know if this got discontinued already, but this is the Untamed palette from Sigma. I think this is the palette that I made a video on, and then the owner of Sigma like noticed me, so that's pretty cool. This is the Alice in Wonderland palette that they did. So fun and colorful. I love the Sigma Disney collabs. I'm going to talk about that one later. Let's just keep to the Sigma theme. We've got the Quarter Rosa palette. This is the one. I included a mini size of this in my Sigma favorites set, so check that out. It's such a beautiful palette. I have the Cinderella palette that looks like this. I think I have pretty much every single one of these palettes that they've done ever. I'm pretty sure. This is the Nomad palette, a beautiful mauve palette for y'all out there that love mauves. This is their latest palette. Oh my gosh, how pretty. This is their Beauty and the Beast palette. I have gone on and on and on about how Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney movie, so I'm just so thrilled that it was finally time for a Beauty and the Beast palette. Okay, do we have any more? I think if I was to declutter one from Sigma, it would be this one. I don't know if they still sell this. It's the Dreamer palette. It's their collab with a Beauty Bird. I might have to look into that, but I'm going to hold on to it for now. This is one of their newer collabs. This is the Angela Bright collab palette, and it's so fun and colorful. I feel like this to me really shows her personality, because I feel like she definitely gives me like edgy vibes. And then I have a few more Sigma palettes over here, so let's grab those. I think I can get rid of the Essentials palette. I don't think they have this one anymore. This is their collab with Stephanie Lange. I don't know how to say it, but this is such a pretty neutral palette. I think I know just the friend to pass that one on to. This is so beautiful. This is the Diana Saldana collaboration. I actually got to meet her when I was at Sigma, I think like 2 summers ago. So that was a really cool experience. And then Anne Nook, I think is how you say it. Beautiful, beautiful influencer. And that's her palette with Sigma. So that is my Sigma collection that I went through. I can't believe I decluttered one Sigma palette. That's a big deal. Okay, let's see here. So we have the Pumpkin Spice palette from Too Faced. Gonna hold on to that. This is the Maple Syrup Pancakes. Probably one of the ugliest Too Faced color stories I've seen. So I think I'm gonna declutter this one. I think that I'm done with it. This is from the brand Izamaya Cosmetics Beauty. I don't know what it's called, but it's a very like fancy brand. And this is a really cool palette. It's very editorial. So I'm going to hold on to it because I did spend a lot of money on it. This one kind of caught me off guard. It's the Cosmic Crush palette from Too Faced. It's kind of cute. I think this shade really sold it to me. I think I should declutter it. I think I should declutter it. I think I should declutter it. Okay, let's make some tough decisions about Charlotte Tilbury. These are so beautiful, but like I never reach for this. Like, oh, it's so pretty though. It's so pretty. Should I declutter it? And then this is another one of their holiday palettes. So pretty. I love these color stories. I'm gonna keep them. I think I can let go of this one though because you can't even buy this. Not that you can buy, but it's so pretty. It looks a little funky though. The shade looks like it's hard panned a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead. Oops. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. Yeah, this is a Charlotte Tilbury, the Icon palette, one of my favorites from back in the day. And I hope I didn't break this one. This is the Urban Decay Wild West palette. Super wild. I don't really talk about Urban Decay a ton. I did get like one thing in PR from them this year, so maybe I'll talk about them more next year. Who knows? I don't think I'm on like their permanent PR list though, so we'll see. But I did actually really like this palette, and I think it already went on sale. So if you're looking for a decent Urban Decay palette, then this might be your gal. And then I have this one, another one that can be added to the bucket of shame. This is the collab they did with Robin Eisenberger. I don't know. Anyway, I thought this was a cute color story and I bought it. And of course, I never got around to using it on my channel. So it's brand spanking new. Maybe I can put it in a giveaway. Like, does anybody even want to win this palette? I don't know. I don't know. But I did go ahead and pick up some USPS boxes. So I want to do some giveaways. Of course, it's going to take me forever to get my shit together. So be patient with me. But yeah, I think I'm just going to put that in my giveaway pile. Okay, this is wild. So I'm going to be super cutthroat here because I really enjoy some of the newer things that Glamlite has been doing. I really enjoyed the old stuff that the brand did as well, but it's time to make room. So this is the paint palette. I actually got rid of this and then I bought the mini version they did, and I don't even think I ever really used this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it because it just needs to go. This is the Cake palette. Again, a really fun Glamlite palette. I kept the packaging because it was easier to store like this, but I'm ready to just like move on from these. So yeah, hopefully I don't regret it, but I'm done. I'm done. This is the Michaela Part 2 palette. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one because I do like this color story. This is the Glamlite Ice Cream palette. Super duper pretty, and I really like this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to it. This is their first Michaela collab, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. This is their Scooby-Doo collection. I believe they sent this one to me, and I think this is cute. I do wish they hadn't kept like all of these giant spaces in between the shades, but I think that was just part of the palette, so I'm not gonna dog on them for that, but really wish they hadn't put so much negative space in there. This is the Rick and Morty palette. This is a super fun, colorful palette, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to it. The Barbie palette wasn't really my favorite, but I do love Barbie, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to it. I'm also going to keep the Frosted Flakes palette. I love this color story. I've seen them go back to this size of palette in their last few releases, and I'm so happy about it. This is the Strawberry Shortcake palette that they came out with, I think, last holiday. Super cute. So I'm going to keep this one. We have the Chucky palette. This was Valentine's 2023. Such a genius concept for Valentine's, so love that. Here's where we're gonna just get rid of a few things. This is the Pizza Slice palette. Bought it with my own money. Honestly, I don't use it. This is the veggie one. I think I might have used this one once for a video or something, but I just don't feel like these are relevant, and they're taking up space and they're hard to store. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass these on to another home, I guess, a better place. Somewhere, someone out there is just waiting for these palettes. This is the Taco palette. I really like this color story. They really got their start doing food-themed products, and now they're doing all these like IP stuff. So who knows where they'll go next. But this is the burger palette. Oh my gosh, if any of you remember me unboxing this on my Instagram stories, oh my gosh, it feels like a lifetime ago. I still remember it. My husband was very intoxicated and he was sitting there like commenting on this palette on my Instagram stories. So if you remember that, leave me a comment. This is the Street Taco palette, another one that I picked up with my own money. I am a Glamlite affiliate, so I think I bought a lot of these just to have so I could talk about them. But realistically, I don't even reference these in my new videos, and I probably could, but honestly, it's time. It's time to let go. I'm going to let go of all of these too. This is the Glam Donut. I don't feel like opening these all up. This is the chocolate donut. They were really into the food. This is the mini burger palette. And then we have the apple pie palette, which is so intense. Like, look at this packaging, you guys. Like, holy moly. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. So yeah, if anyone from Glamlite is watching this, I say this with peace and love. I love your stuff, but I just cannot continue to keep all of this because I'm running out of room. Also, apologies for having to stare at this kind of dirty plastic bin, but it's just so much easier to move my palettes around with it. So that's what we're gonna do for a while. No, I'm gonna get rid of this one. This is the little red velvet cupcake palette. Looks like this, such a super cute color story, but I don't need it. I'm gonna keep these two because I just love them so much. It's the Icy collab that they did. I think I bought those with my own money as well. And then this is their cocktail collection. So this is their chocolate martini. The margarita, I think I'm gonna let go of because I have other colorful palettes from them. This beautiful purple palette is the wine, and this is the dirty martini palette. You guys know I love green, so I'm keeping those. And then last but certainly not least is the Michaela Tin Pan palette. Super cute. I do have other Glamlite palettes in my ranking pile, so you'll see those later. These I'm pretty sure I decided to declutter last year and they never like left my room. So we have Meadow, Euphoria, and Emeralds, and then this Cosette palette that I never actually ended up trying. I don't even know if Cosette is like a big brand anymore. I mean, I guess they were never like a big brand, but they're kind of like a pro artist brand, but whatever. We're just gonna part ways right now. Okay, so we've got more. This is the Sydney Grace Tropic Color palette that they did in collaboration with Tina, the Fancy Face. So I'm gonna keep this. I love Tina so much. We've never met, but I know I can't wait to meet her because I think I'm gonna get to meet her soon-ish. Okay, I did find these two Scooby-Doo palettes from Glamlite. These are so beautiful. Some of their best color stories, so definitely keeping these two. Okay, so we have some Game Beauty palettes. They actually sent me these back in the day in PR, and I was a little late to the party, so I never got to play with them. and I don't know if I should try them or if I should let them go, because I don't know if I'm going to reference them a whole lot. And then I have these ones that they recently launched, so I feel like I don't know what to do with these, because I feel like I will continue to talk about them, but only when it's relevant, and right now I just don't know. So I'm going to hold on to those ones, and I have a few more coming up too. So just so you guys know. And then I have the two Dennis & Myricks Lightworks palettes. I almost got the new one, but I decided that I really don't use these two enough to justify having a third one. So I'm just happy with these, and I'm not going to add any more to my collection. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this It's Belle Cool Summer palette. This is the Sydney Grace Unbreakable Bond palette, a beautiful neutral palette from them. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. This is the Enduring Love palette. I think I did the official swatches for this palette for Sydney Grace, and it has such a special place in my heart because Sydney Grace was one of the first brands that started sending me PR, but I can't possibly keep everything, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one, and it's also pretty old. This is the Full Fantasy palette from Lunar Beauty and Laura Lee Los Angeles. I really like this palette. It's a beautiful neutral palette, so I'm gonna hold on to that. We have another one from It's Belle. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. It's Breaking the Rules, or yeah, Break the Rules, sorry. We have the Donna Fall, another beautiful palette from them. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter these just because I don't think I'm gonna be featuring them on my channel. They are a really cool brand though if you want affordable kind of all shimmer palettes. This is the Flare collection. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these two from Game Beauty. They weren't really like my favorite color story wise, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass these on. And then I have the rest of the Element collection that they did, so I'm gonna keep those. Okay, so here are the Sydney Grace palettes. So this is California Coast. I think I'm gonna keep the deep version and pass the light one on to friends because I just really don't need both. It seems a little excessive to keep them. Of course, at the time it was relevant for video purposes, but now I think I can move it along. This is the Mountain Trail palette, super beautiful green palette from them. We have the Raspberry Kiss palette from Sydney Grace, and we have the Lunar Beauty. This is the 12 Days of Lunar palette that they did last holiday. I really hated this, and I think I wanted to declutter it, but I decided not to. But I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter it now. It's just not a favorite. This I'm purely keeping for collection purposes. Otherwise, I would get rid of this. This is Moonspell Volume 2 from Lunar Beauty. I just don't feel like it was the same good quality that I'm used to from Lunar Beauty, but I just love this packaging so much, so it is gonna get a chance to stay in my collection. Okay, so here's my Jolie Beauty collection. This is the Sirens palette. I just got these and I need to film with them, but I wanted to show them to you. This is the Carnival palette. Oh, so pretty. And then these are the ones I've had for a while. So this is Ethereality. We've got Sorceress. Oh, so pretty. I love how big these are. And then we have Vampirism. So I'm going to keep all of those, of course. Okay, so this is the newest palette I have from Lunar Beauty. It's their Siren Sunset palette. Oh my gosh, I love this color story so much. This pains me, but I think it's time to let go of the collab that Sydney Grace did with Temptalia. This was such an anticipated launch, and I was so grateful to the brand as well as Temptalia for sending this my way, but I just never reach for these. I never reference them. I just need to make room, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and pass these along. Okay, here's a few more Sydney Grace things I think I'm going to get rid of because these are older palettes. So these are the Summer Days palettes. These are so pretty, and I just know I have so many friends that love neutrals that will appreciate these. This is the Coffee Talk palette. I bought this one with my own money. This is the Colorful Sweet Indulgence palette, also brand new, but I'm going to pass it along, and then this is some of their singles that I keep with their stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my singles pile. We've got more Sydney Grace. Oh my goodness. So this is their first ever palette, Autumn Rain. I can't remember if I bought this or if they sent it to me, but I think I'm going to hold on to it for sentimental purposes. We have the Be Mine palette. Again, I think I'm going to keep the deep version and pass the light one along to somebody else. So yeah, let's just make some room for some new things. This is one of their newer palettes. It's Heaven on Earth. So lovely. Gonna keep that. We've got Love's Journey. This is a beautiful cool tone neutral palette. And then of course the beautiful, amazing collaboration with Miss Mel Thompson. This is the Tiny Marvels palette, and I'm definitely keeping this one. Okay, this is their latest collab, I believe, with Glitzy Fritzy. This is the Bless palette. I might have accidentally dropped this. It did okay though, such a fun color story. So I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep the Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. I told you guys, this is so cool. Like, I love this packaging. Such a vibe. Did such a good job with that one. This is the Ethereal Eclipse palette. I definitely prefer Siren Sunset, but I'm going to keep that one. This is Strawberry Dream, one of his first palettes. I think the first one was Life's a Drag. I don't think I ever owned that one, but I really like this. And then this one I bought because my friend Heather Austin would not stop raving about the Greek Goddess palette. So I think I bought this one on Beauty Bay quite a few years after it launched. And then we have Nude Prism from Lunar Beauty. I'm going to hold on to that as well. Okay, we've got some really amazing indie brands on the table. A lot of these brands I've worked with for years and years and years. So it's going to be hard, but I'm doing this to make room for more things. So definitely going to keep my Lethal and Teresa is Dead collaboration palettes. We have a beautiful multi-chrome palette from them that I'm going to keep. I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter the Berlin palette. I think this is such a cool palette, but I don't reach for it, so I'm gonna make room. We have this one, I can't remember, I think this is called After Dark palette. They don't put their names on their palette, so I'm not sure, and I think I'm gonna declutter this one as well. I just have other palettes from them that I love so much more. This is their 2 Up palette. This is a launch from this year. I don't love this one as much as some of the other Lethal palettes. So I think once I do my eyeshadow palette ranking video, I'll probably end up decluttering this. These are some of my favorite Lethal palettes. This is I think this was called the Monarch. I can't remember. I believe this launched last year. This is such a beautiful neutral palette from them, so I'm definitely keeping that. We have this palette, which is beautiful. I'm gonna keep that. But honestly, I just love this one so much. This is their Evergreen palette, I think. So yeah, this is my favorite Lethal palette. And then we have this one. I can't remember what it's called either. Another beautiful color story. So I'm going to hold on to those 4 in that particular format. The 1UP palette also has really cool packaging. I do prefer this color story to the 2UP palette, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and declutter it. Love it for what it was. Appreciate it so much. But I think I'm just gonna make room. I just need to make room because I literally just bought a new piece of furniture to house makeup in, and I don't want to start the year off with that one being full of stuff. And right now I have palettes literally piled one on top of the other from my favorite brands. So I think this is just necessary. You know what I mean? There's more lethal here. So this is a really pretty sparkly palette that they did this year. I don't remember if that shade Shattered, or I think I actually dropped this palette accidentally. So I'm really bummed, but these shimmers are so gorgeous. I don't feel like they look like they're that like amazing in the palette, but trust me, on my eyes, it's amazing. So I'm keeping it. Okay, let's talk about Ace Beaute, one of my long-term loves. This is the Vintage Dawn palette. I don't know if they sell this one, but I think it's such a pretty color story. So I'm gonna hold on to it. I love these two palettes they did last year. This is the Envy palette, and then this is the Aura palette. Oh my god, they're so beautiful, and I love this formula. They've been a little bit more quiet this year, but I believe they launched these this year, right? These are their like little floral palettes. So we have a Fleur that looks like this. We've got Begonia, which is like one of my favorite color stories. We've got this beautiful neutral Calla. How gorgeous. And then we have Flora, which is like a beautiful yellow palette. So I'm going to keep all four of these. So this one just came in the mail. I bought it very recently. I want to do a video on it, so I'm going to hold on to this. Okay, this is the Paletopoly palette from Ace Beaute. This is a fun, vibrant color story, so I'm going to keep that. This is the Smoky Roses palette, another pretty neutral palette. Oh, I love this one. It is the Tropical Vibes palette. Another favorite, this is the Ambiance palette. This is the Nostalgia palette. This one I've never used. It's the Flare palette. And then I have the Oceanic palette. And I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. This is the Violet Sage palette. This was like a limited edition drop, and I just thought this was very different from their other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to someone else. Okay, here's a brand that I think I'm just kind of, I don't know, I just think I'm over it a little bit. So this is their Sugar High palette. I'm going to go ahead and declutter that. This is their collab with Annette. I'm going to keep this. It's the Serenity palette. This is their Flight Club palette. This is super old. This is their Whale Song palette. I've got the Indigo Ink palette and the Killer Purr palette. I'm going to declutter a majority of those. I'm just going to keep Annette's collab with them. And then should I do, oh, okay, let's do Blend Bunny really quick, because I don't think I'm going to be decluttering anything, although I am going to declutter one palette. So this is their little multi-chrome palette. I'm going to add this to my mini palette section, but I also like to keep it with my Blend Bunny palette. So I'll figure that out later, but we're keeping that. This is the one I'm going to declutter. I'm actually inspired by Angie to declutter this because it is a like multi-purpose palette, so you can use it on the face and the eyes. I just don't love these tones for my face, and I love Blend Bunny, but I don't need a neutral palette from her. I'm sorry, Maggie. I just love so many of her other palettes so much. So I would rather pass this one on, because I know that a lot of the people that I know that aren't super into makeup love neutral palettes. So I feel like somebody's gonna like snatch this puppy up. Okay, now I think I'm gonna keep the rest of these. This is the Sugar and Grunge palette. It's so beautiful. I love it. This is the Surge palette. I might eventually declutter this because I think she discontinued this, but for now I'm going to keep it. The Balens palette, this is the one that kind of started it all. Super pretty. I've got the Dollhouse. This is one of my favorite neutral palettes from them. So see, this is why I feel okay about getting rid of the Forget Me Not, because I have pretty neutrals from her. This is the Sickly Sweet palette. The Halloween palette. Oh my goodness, so pretty. See, I've got good pastels, so I'm glad I decluttered some of the other pastel palettes. This is one of my favorites. If you know me, you know I love greens. and blues and purples. So this is the Lure. And then we have another one that is discontinued. This is the Primal palette. So eventually I might get rid of it, but I'm going to hold on to it for now. And then another beautiful kind of neutral grungy palette called the All Done Up palette. So basically I'm keeping all my Blend Bunny palettes. I just wanted to get rid of that one neutral one that I don't think I'll get a ton of use out of. So these are the Artist Couture palettes, and I was like obsessed with these when they first launched. Like, such good quality. Still love it so much. Like, seeing this one is just bringing me right back, right? But I don't really talk about this brand on my channel anymore. Pretty irrelevant. I don't even really know if they're launching a ton of new eyeshadow things. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and pass these along, make some space in my makeup collection, but solid neutral palettes if you're looking at Sephora brand stuff. So adding that to the declutter pile. These two from Nomad can also go. This is the palette from Holiday, I think. Is this last year? I'm not sure. These shimmers were a little hard pressed. I love the theme. I would love to keep it, but I'm not going to reach for it or reference it. This one I don't think they sell anymore. It's their Lake Como palette. I think they sent this to me later on in PR, but they don't sell either of these, so I might as well move them along to someone else. So let's go ahead and go through the rest of my Nomad collection. By the time I get this video edited, I wonder if they would have revealed their newest palette. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. So in no particular order, let's look at these. So this is their Paradise palette. Super pretty, colorful palette. I'm going to keep pretty much all of the Nomad palettes because I like to reference these. So this is their Valentine's palette. Was this one? Yes, this was 2023. It was like a juxtaposition of like Romeo and Juliet and like love and torture and poison and Venice. So I love that. We have the, I can't remember what this one was called, but this is what it looks like. I think it was a Tokyo inspired palette, Shanghai palette. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Actually, should I get rid of this one? Because I don't think they sell it anymore. Ooh, what should I do? Okay, let's do it. Let's declutter. Let's make space. Okay, I'm going to declutter this. It's new, but I don't like it. It's the Nomad Air palette. Again, I just feel like somebody that I know that loves neutrals is just going to snatch this puppy up. Okay, this is so cute. This is their Okawangu Safari palette. So cute, grungy, browns, greens, safari themed. I'm here for it. Ugh, this one brings back memories. The Nomad, this is their Canada palette, the Snow Lodge. Ugh, how freaking pretty. So perfect for this time of year. Okay, this is another one I might declutter. I don't love this color story. It's their like, which one is this? This is a Italian palette, right? I can't remember the countries. I'm so sorry. I just didn't love this color story. It's very like springy. Let's do it. Let's do it. I love this. This is the Hudson Valley. I believe this one was inspired by where one of the owners of Nomad grew up. So I just love this so much because it's such a perfect fall theme. Love me the Fire and Ice palette. Oh, look at this. Look at these like volcanic shades. This is the Iceland palette. This is the American Parks palette. So stunning. I don't think I've been to any American national parks, but I would love to go someday. I think this one just got discontinued. This is their Tokyo palette. I've literally never used this palette. My friend Amy Loves Makeup raves about this and I still haven't used this and I think it got discontinued, but I feel like I owe it to myself to try that, so I'm going to keep it. This might be my favorite Nomad palette or one of them. This is their like Royal Jewels collection. This whole row is multi-chromes and then these are like some really grungy jewel tone mattes, so I freaking love it. Also, like, this packaging is stunning, like stunning. This is another kind of nature palette. Oh my gosh, I don't remember any of the names. This is the Mount Verde palette. So it's a fun neon jumbly, just gorgeous rainbow palette. Okay, I'm almost done with Nomad. This is the Orient Express palette. I think this is so cute, so I'm gonna keep it. I love my spooky palettes from Nomad. So this is this year's palette. This is the Ghost Town USA palette. Pry this out of my cold dead hands because that's how much I love it. And then this is the Haunted Europe palette, which is like the more vibrant sister palette to the Ghost Town palette. So that is my entire Nomad collection, and I'm keeping most of it, and I'm not mad at all. Okay, now it's time for one of my favorite indie brands. I feel like I'm gonna keep a majority of this, so let's dig through. I'm gonna keep all of these collab palettes for sure. This is Oden's Eye, so this is the Red Dragon palette. Like, how stunning. I love it so much. The Annette Giant Wolves palette. Oh my god, probably one of my favorite color stories of all time. She killed it. This is the Hummingbird palette that they did with Tina. We have the Saga of Freya collection. I was definitely inspired by this collection when I named my daughter. So even though I don't reach for these palettes, I'm not getting rid of any of them because I have to show them to her someday. I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. I actually bought this Alba palette with my own money. I just feel like they've come so far with their eyeshadow formula, so I'm going to pass this on to somebody else. Same with this. This is the Alba 2. I think my friend Amy Loves Makeup actually sent me this, and I'm so grateful, but I need to make space, so we're gonna move it along. You can also pry these out of my cold dead hands. I cannot believe they bought these back for the holidays this year. I hope y'all got your hands on them because I think they are sold out again, but this is the Merry Christmas palette. I love this color story, and then the Christmas Eve palette. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, absolutely gorgeous. Two of my favorites from Oden's Eye. We also have this one, such a banger, the Stone and Rock palette. I love green eyeshadow, and this is like heaven, okay? They've just done so well with their color stories. I'm going to go ahead and declutter the original Norns palette. My husband bought me that. And then I bought this one because they like redid it. And I did a little comparison video. Actually, my toddler got into this one. So it's wrecked, but I didn't think they were that different. Some of you guys commented though that there were specific shades that you thought were different. Now, what should I do? Because the new one is pretty wrecked, but I'm gonna keep them. It's fine. I love Oden's Eye, okay? It is what it is. Ah, my beautiful friend and her beautiful palettes. Like, are you kidding me right now? So this is the Hella palette with Angie, the original. Look at her. She's so fierce, you guys. I can't even. I never keep sleeves of palettes, but you know when my best friend is involved, I'm gonna keep it. This is the Trick or Treat palette that she just came out with for them on Halloween. Oops, sorry. Sorry, Hella. Sorry. Oh, so beautiful. Love the little ghost as well. Oh my gosh, look at this. Huh. Love those two. Love me the Jewel and Gem palette. This is also another hit from this year. Beautiful cool tones. I think I can part with the Solmon 2 palette. It's so stunning, but I have Angie's palette now. So actually, should I keep it? I kind of want I'm going to keep it. It's fine. It's fine. And then I have these three beautiful ladies and their collaboration palettes. So this is the Spirit palette with Betty Jean, the Sea Talk palette with Lauren May Beauty, and the Floral Story palette with Makeup Just for Fun. So love these. I think these are all sold out now as well, but yeah, those are some heavy hitter indie brands. So I'm glad I was able to go through them with y'all. Okay, so we're gonna take a little break from full-size palettes and focus on some of the smaller palettes in my collection. Last year I meant to film this separate, I think, and I never did, so I'm gonna be super cutthroat here because I don't reach for half of these, and I want to make room. Again, I can't say that enough times, so let's go ahead and dig in. So this is the little mini Enchanted Sigma palette. I'm probably going to keep this just in case I need to reference in a video. This is the Pat McGrath Star Wars little like 5 pans she did. I'm going to keep that because it's cute. The Huda Beauty matte palette. I think this is actually really a nice one. I don't reach for it enough, but I'm going to hold on to it in case. And then this is the other one that she did. That's the neutral all matte palette. I am going to keep these little Sigma quads because, again, I'm a Sigma Beauty affiliate, so I want to have these to reference. And I'll probably keep most of my little Sigma things because it comes in handy for me. Okay, here's another Star Wars 5 pan. I don't think I've even swatched this one. How embarrassing. I think I can let this one go. It's a Pat McGrath neutral palette. I'm gonna get rid of all these Glamlite Kiss ones. I got these from my husband when they launched for Valentine's, and I never use them. They're nice, they're perfectly fine, but I just don't need them here, so I'm gonna get rid of those. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of these Kaleidos palettes as well because they're like neutrally and I just don't need them. Gonna get rid of these Huda Beauty color block palettes. I kept them thinking that, oh, it's so fun to have like in my collection, but I don't reach for them and I don't want them. Same with these, they're so old, you can't buy them. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass these on to someone else. I'm gonna move this along as well. This is a Sigma holiday palette that you can no longer get, so why am I keeping it? I'm gonna keep the Desert Lights palette from Flower Beauty. It's super cute. I'm gonna keep these ones from Huda. This is the Wild Jaguar palette. Love me some Wild Python. I am gonna get rid of this. There was like a lawsuit with these. I don't even know, girl. Don't ask me about it. I don't know, but I just know I heard something about that. This is the Haze palette. It's cute. I'm going to keep the Chameleon palette. How fun is that? And then we have the Huda Beauty. This is the Nude Rich palette. I did a collab with 2 of my really, really good friends here on YouTube with this. So I'm going to keep it. A little bit sentimental. NBD. This is the like Lunar Beauty little dragon palette. Why did I buy this? Because I was greedy for eyeshadow back in the day, and I'm telling you guys, I'm trying to reform myself, so I'm gonna get rid of those. And then I think I'm just gonna get rid of all these Viseart palettes. Like, they're so cute, but I honestly just bought these so I could like review them, and I don't reach for them, so like let me just pass them on. And I'm just trying really hard to be more selective this year, so I don't see myself buying any more Viseart palettes anytime soon. Okay, here's another Viseart palette that I can just go ahead and pass on. It's just so boring. I'm gonna get rid of this Kaleidos one as well. This is another Pat McGrath one that I bought and I never reach for, and I don't think I'm gonna miss it. I'm going to get rid of this Geology Cosmetics palette. It's their Pilbara palette. They're a small Australian-based indie brand, and I'm so grateful they sent this to me, but I don't reach for this at all, so I'm going to go ahead and pass this on. This is a little Pat McGrath quad. I don't even know why I bought this. I'm going to go ahead and pass this on. I'm going to go ahead and pass on the Violet Ink palette from Menagerie. This is so old. This one I really hated. This is the Melt Zodiac palette in Air. I've never used these ones from Beauty Bay. This is their Disney collab. I bought them, again, because I'm a greedy little a-hole like that. And I was like, ooh, I need them. These do look really cute, though. Really, really cute. completely unused. So maybe I could give these away. I don't know. Would you guys be interested? Otherwise, I could just put them on my Poshmark. So if somebody can just like cover the shipping for these, I'd be happy with that. I'm going to hold on to this one from Didi. This is the Plum Perfection little quad that they recently launched. This is so cute, but I don't need this. This is the Mini Gingerbread Spice Palette from Too Faced. I think I'm honestly just going to declutter all of these little quads from Kaleidos. I just never reach for them. I think I'll just keep the purple one because it's kind of fun, but these three can go. I just need to make room. Okay, so we have more smaller palettes to declutter. I'm going to go ahead and declutter all of these from Nabla. I think I kept them through my last mini palette declutter because, I don't know, I thought that they were really pretty, but I don't really talk about Nabla on my channel anymore. So I think it's time to move on. And oh my gosh, this one is really, really pretty, but I don't need it. So we're gonna declutter. I'm gonna keep these 9-pan palettes that Sigma does. I can't remember what they're called. They're like, they have a name to them, but they have so many. And again, a very relevant brand. I talk about them all the time on my channel, so I'm going to keep all of these. Okay, this little guy from Lethal, I didn't even remember I had, so I'm going to pass that along. I have another little one from Lethal. Ooh, these are multi-chromes. I'm keeping those. I'm keeping those. Okay, I think I'm going to declutter all of these. My friend Amy sent me some of these, and then some of these I bought with my own monies, or were they sent to me? Actually, I can't remember, but I know Amy sent me some of them, but I don't reach for these. I just prefer like bigger palettes. So I'm going to pass these on. I really just need to make room in this like mini section. So I'm happy for them to go to another home. Same with this little one from Rare Beauty. I don't really love the formula or the quality. So let's just move it along. I'm going to keep this one with all of my little other Star Wars ones from Pat McGrath. I'm going to keep all of the little mini versions of the Sigma full-size palettes. I'm going to pass on this one because it's a holiday palette that you can no longer buy, and it's so beautiful. I know that somebody is going to snatch that up. These are all going to go as well. I just never reach for these. They're from ColourPop, and I think I bought all of these with my own money. I'm going to get rid of this little Kaja. I got this as a little souvenir when I was in New York in like 2019. I never reached for it, so I'm going to pass it on. And then I think I'm going to get rid of all of these e.l.f. ones too. These are so lovely. I just don't use them. I feel like this is unfair to count this as a decluttered palette, but it's 4 shades. It's a quad. So I'm going to count these into my declutter, and I'm so excited to count how many I'm getting rid of because I feel like I'm going to get rid of a ton of these small palettes because I just don't reach for them. And I have a whole bunch of Juvia's Place ones we need to go through as well. And I feel like I'm just doing great right now. So this is the Lisa Aldridge one that I got. This is the only one I bought, Sorcery. It's cute, so I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to get rid of all of these as well, these Essence ones that everybody is raving about. I bought them because I had like an Ulta coupon. Again, I think this would be something I could throw on maybe Poshmark if you guys are interested in just paying for shipping. I just never used them. I had all these plans, hopes and dreams, and nothing ever came out of them. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter. I'm going to declutter this little blue palette from ColourPop. I don't think I've ever used that. This little Pat McGrath one is so cute. I can't imagine when I'm going to want to use this, but I'm going to keep it because the money has already been spent. This is like a little insane because I didn't realize I had so many Pat McGrath quads. This is kind of pretty. I don't even know when that came out, but I'll keep it, I guess. This one looks basically untouched. I have more. I don't even know what any of these are called. I think these came out at some point during holiday. This is Ritualistic Rose. It sounds positively boring. This one looks like one of the motherships. I guess I can pass that one along to someone. This looks so boring. I'm going to pass that along too. This is also kind of boring. Pass. And ooh, that's cute. I remember that quad. I'm gonna keep that. Okay, we have some little minis from Juvia's Place. Honestly, I'm gonna give these away, I think. I just don't reach for them. And okay, maybe I'll keep the green one. No, I don't really like any of them. I really don't like them that much. I mean, they're cute. This one was good. The little quad they did with Fumi. Super cute. Never ever reach for. So let's just move it along. Let's just move it along. This one's getting decluttered. It's from Huda. It's super old. I would probably declutter these, but I feel like they're kind of relevant as far as drugstore goes. So I'm gonna hold on to them for at least another year. Okay, y'all, let's see. I'm gonna keep all these little Natasha Denona palettes because I think this is like a brand I talk about a lot on my channel. So I think they'll be super duper relevant for me at some point. So I'm just gonna keep all of these. This one's actually signed by her because I got to meet her in New York back in the day. So, yep, just gonna keep all of these. I'm gonna keep the Jungle Lights palette, still my favorite one from all of the Flower Beauty ones. This is gonna go, this is from Melt. This is the Earth palette. I hate it so much. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy right now, you guys. I can't believe it. Oh, okay, so these are the Birthstone palettes from BH. This is such a fun color story. We have Sapphire, we've got Emerald, we've got Peridot, we've got Turquoise. Oh, that's pretty. We've got Garnet, and we have Citrine. Super duper cute. I'm kind of just gonna keep all of these because they're so cute, but realistically I should probably be decluttering them. We'll see. We'll see how I feel next year. We'll work on it next year. Okay, these ones I never thought I would declutter, but I was inspired by watching so many other YouTubers declutter them. These are the Kaleidos like Futurism palettes. I think I bought these original ones with my own money, and then I got added to the Kaleidos PR. So I was like, oh, everybody's decluttering them. I should declutter them too because I don't ever reach for them. But now that I'm like looking through them, I'm like, God, these are so iconic. Like I watch so many collection videos and I'm like, ooh, like this person's been collecting makeup for a long time. Like they have this palette, or I'll see a palette that I used to own that I got rid of and I'm like, oh, I kind of wish I hadn't gotten rid of that. So I feel like, is these the palettes that I'll see in somebody's like collection video next year and I'm gonna be like, oh, I shouldn't have gotten rid of them. But I literally never use these. I literally never use them. But I feel like since I have been so good so far with the minis, I'm gonna keep all the Futurism palettes and I can be that girl that everybody watches next year and be like, oh, I wish I had kept those because they were so good. Okay, y'all, let's play a game of which Juvia's Place mini palettes Karen's gonna keep and get rid of. The answer is I think I'm gonna get rid of all of these because they're so cute, but I never ever reach for any of these. I'm never sitting around thinking like, oh, where's that really cute Nubian Royal palette from Juvia's Place? I should really wear that to dinner today. These are so cute, but I just don't reach for them. How fun is that color story? So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get rid of all of them because they're just gathering dust, and I highly recommend, like I could not say more good things about how pigmented and interesting these color stories are. Some of these are limited edition. I bought all of these with my own money because Juvia's Place doesn't know who I am. Well, maybe they do now, but most likely they still don't know who I am. So again, if you're interested in these, I can pop them on Poshmark. If somebody wants to cover shipping, I'd be more than happy to mail these off to be loved by somebody else. But I'm done. I'm so done. Okay, so I have basically managed to fit all of my mini eyeshadow palettes in one drawer, which I think is gonna be so nice for me. And yeah, I'm just happy. This is what declutters are all about. So now let's go ahead and switch back to my regular size eyeshadow palettes. Let's start off with Juvia's, I guess. So this is the Nomad palette by Juvia's Place. I was like in love with this color story, but now I just have so many others that I'm more interested in. So I'm gonna pass that on. I don't think I can get rid of this yet. This is so iconic. This is the Tribe palette by Juvia's. They don't even sell this anymore, but I have to keep it. I just feel like I'm not a YouTuber if I don't keep it. This is the Wahala from Juvia's. So stunning. Keeping that. This is the Wahala, like the original palette. It's cute. I probably don't need to keep this, but I'm going to. I'm going to get rid of the Warrior palette. I don't need this color story. This is what it looks like. I'm also going to get rid of the Wheat Bell palette from Geology Cosmetics. This is the second palette. Or is this the first one? No, this is the second one from that Australian indie brand. They made the packaging on this one kind of clunky, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it on. Is it time to say goodbye to the Scott Barnes palettes? I feel like it is. I don't even reach for these. They're really not relevant on my channel, so let's go ahead and make some room for more indie brands that I love, like this brand, Fantasy Cosmetica. Oh my gosh, I love this brand so much. They are a small indie brand, women-owned indie brand, and I think they're out of Washington, Seattle, Washington, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, these are their palettes. This is the Rogue palette. This is their first one, the Bard. Love that. We have the Fighter palette. They've updated all of their packaging now to look like the stained glass, but I have some of the original packaging. This is the Sorcerer. This is the Bard. Oh, did I say Bard for the green one? That's the Druid palette. I'm so sorry. It is like 10-11 at night when I'm filming this. This is the Warlock. I love. And I think that's it for their palettes. So definitely keeping all of those. Just wanted to show them to you. I'm going to get rid of these Viseart palettes. I think these have survived for way too long in my collection, and it's time to let go. The Lion King palette. I'm going to keep this one. It's my husband's favorite Disney movie, and this is such a cute palette. They did it in collaboration with Sir John, who's Beyonce's makeup artist, so I just have to keep it for a little bit longer. Me and my husband are actually going to go see the Lion King production. We're not going to see it on Broadway because I don't have money like that, but I did get him tickets as a birthday present, so I can't wait. This is the Ugly palette from... I forgot the brand. I forgot the brand. What brand makes the Ugly palette? Likely Makeup. Oh my gosh, super cute. I don't really talk about them anymore though, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass that along. I'm gonna get rid of my Lime Crime palettes. I think I have another one somewhere. I love this color story. I just never reach for this, and I don't even know if they make this Prelude palette, so let's go ahead and get it out of here. This is the Coffee Shop palette from Juvia's Place, completely untouched. So I'm going to keep that and hopefully use it and make a video. This is the Candy Shop palette, such a fun one for like spring or Valentine's or whatever floats your boat. This is the Culture 2 palette. Little bit over the top, so different from the OG Juvia's Place that I know and love, but I'm going to keep it. And then we have the Culture 1 palette. Looks like that. So many colorful shades, so big. Honestly, I should probably declutter these, but I don't know. I'm not ready, so I'm going to keep them. Okay, let's do Clarity next. We have the Cobra palette that looks like this. We have the Bloom palette that looks like this. Oh, I think I need to declutter that. It looks so messy. I hate this one. This is the Magic Lamp palette. Love the color story, but I hate it. So I'm going to get rid of it. This one, I can't remember if they sent it to me. It's the Aloha palette. They recently sent me their Komodo palette, and I really like that one. I think they sent me the Aloha palette. I'm gonna keep this one, but I'm gonna get rid of the rest of these. Okay, so I have kind of lost interest in Give Me Glow, so I think it's time to part ways with all of these. This one came out this year, I think, the Butterfly palette or the Butterfly Vibes palette. I didn't love the packaging. I used to be so into this brand, but I just feel like I haven't been that into them recently, and I'm ready. I'm just ready to let go. I'm ready to create space. So I'm gonna get rid of all of their palettes. This is the Juicy Olive palette. I'm pretty sure they have a picture that I took with that palette on their website, but I just don't feel anything when I open these anymore. And there's so many indie brands that I love that love me back, and I'm like, let me just like show some love to those brands, you know, make some room. Okay, so we have Estee Cosmetics. They used to send me PR. They don't send me PR anymore. I don't really know if they're making stuff. I haven't checked. These two palettes I thought had such cool color stories, but I'm gonna go ahead and pass these on. And then, does anybody know if Lois Cosmetics is still a brand? I haven't heard anything, and I haven't looked them up on Instagram. I probably should. Note to self, Karen, look them up on Instagram. But I'm gonna go ahead and pass this on because they haven't launched anything in a while, and I'm not gonna keep it. Okay, let's do this one. I think it's time. I think it's time. I think Paulina would agree that it's time. She is no longer on YouTube, but was a creator. This brand doesn't exist anymore. I held on to this for years and years and years, and I think it's time to go ahead and pass this on. I can't remember if I bought this or I had it sent to me, but if somebody is a fan and wants to cover shipping for this, I'd be happy to pop it on Poshmark for you guys. I'm not trying to make money on it. I just want to send it to somebody that might enjoy it. That's a fan of Paulina, perhaps. Okay, ColourPop Wild Child palette. I feel like these are the iconic palettes that people want from ColourPop. I love this brown sugar palette, but do I need them? I think I'm gonna move them along. I'm over it. I've got this one called Smoke Show. I think they changed the name of this one. Ugh, I never reach for it. I never do. This is the Limelight palette. This is the Sage the Day palette. I also have the Fresh Greens palette. I've got the Star Wars palette. Ooh, I do love me the High Tide palette, but I don't love it that much. This is the Boston Celtics palette. I literally bought it because it's a green palette. I don't think I've ever used it. This Tinkerbell palette is lit. I'm gonna keep that one. This Mandalorian palette is kind of cute. Maybe I'll keep it. I'm gonna get rid of Quartz, and I'm gonna get rid of It's My Pleasure. I'm gonna get rid of these two Colored Rain palettes. Again, used to be one of my favorite indie brands, but I'm ready to make room for other things, new brands, and I'm just ready to declutter my life, y'all. Okay, so when I say new brands, new things, I mean brands like Artitude. This is their Man-Eater palette. I haven't done a look with this one, but they did send it to me recently, so I'm definitely planning on playing with that eventually. This is another unused palette. This is from Pat McGrath's holiday collection. I was just really into this color story, and I think I got 20% off at Ulta, so I decided to pick it up. So let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing a video on this, or maybe I'll just do something for Instagram, but I think it's cute, so I bought it. Okay, here is a Lethal like liner palette. I'm gonna keep this one because I don't have a lot of water activated liners. Okay, these are all my SugarDrizzle palettes. I'm gonna keep the Press Mattes. It's like a beautiful purple palette. I'm probably gonna get rid of some of these because I don't even know if they sell these anymore. This is the Gnome Chrome palette. I think I bought that. I did buy a few of these with my own money, but I don't reach for them, so I'm happy to pass them on. This is the Don't Forget to Smile palette, an all shimmer palette. the Frosty Flamingo palette. We've got the little Raccoon palette. I'm going to keep this one because I think it's a little bit more of a newer palette. This one I think also came out this year, the Mojito Summer palette. Like, how fun and green is that? And then I have the little Plumerian Dragon one. This one also came out this year, so I'm going to keep that. And then this is the Man I Love Frogs All Shimmer palette. I think I'm going to pass that on as well. So I'm just going to keep these ones from SugarDrizzle. Okay, Miss ColourPop, we have more. This is the Hocus Pocus palettes. I think I'm going to keep those. Oh, this one is so cute. It was from Holiday. I'm going to keep that. This is the Harry Potter palette. I'm going to keep that. I haven't actually used that one, but I want to keep it. Getting Fresh was okay. I hated the look I did with it, but I'll hold on to it. I loved this one from this year. This is the Smoking Hot palette, a beautiful neutral. It's a Mood, is such a pretty like jewel tone palette. And we have Matte About You. I don't think I've ever used that one. And then this is so beautiful, the Aurora Struck palette. So gonna keep all of those. I'm gonna keep the Good Sport palette. I just can't bring myself to get rid of this one. It's iconic, okay? Should I get rid of the Lizzie McGuire palette? I feel like I haven't used it, so let's do it. Here's the little Rudolph palette. They did re-release it. Ugh, it looks so boring. I'm going to keep it. It's cute. This is the In the Springs palette. It is a Palm Springs, why can't I open this? Palm Springs inspired palette. Kind of reminds me of the palette from Glamlite and Frosted Flakes, so I'll move it along. I'm going to probably declutter the Powerpuff Girls palette too. I don't need it. This is so cute, the Star Wars one. Keeping that. Limoncello just has such pretty packaging. I'm going to keep it. Let's just keep it for fun. This one they sent me this year. This is their Cloud 9 palette. Honestly, I'll probably declutter it after I rank it. But yeah, kind of a boring one. This is their Nightmare Before Christmas. This is their other Hocus Pocus palette. Lush Life. This is just iconic. I would never... the Whatever palette is one of my favorite neutrals, but it's so old. I think it's time to move it along. I don't know if I ever used this one. Oh yeah, I did. People were comparing this one to Good Sport, I think. Let's see. Not the same. I'm gonna get rid of this one. Okay, this I Think I Love You palette was one of my favorite neutrals, but it's time to pass it on. I'm going to keep this. I just think it's so cute. It's at For a Sight. Their collab with Raw Beauty Christie. So, oh my gosh, I think I just like axed my ColourPop collection by a lot, and I'm not mad about it at all. And then I have these three from Florasis. I don't even know when they sent me this. I just found it when I was going through my stuff, and I was like, when did I get this? I don't even remember. Like, I don't remember filming with it. I have no concept, but I think I might keep these because they're cute. I don't know. Look at them. They're so like intricate and stunning. So maybe I'll keep them in case they want me to work with them in the future. I don't know. This was like sent with no obligation to post, but I think I'll keep them just for another year. Oh my god, I'm so excited. This is wild. There has to be at least 50 palettes on my desk right now. Okay, we're gonna keep all the Beauty Bay ones. I already know this is the Dark Fantasy. I've got the Love Notes palette. They just haven't made a good palette in a hot second, so I can't bring myself to get rid of any of these. This is the New Mood. We've got, I just made like this really precarious pile. This is the Age of Opulence. Are you kidding me? Can we make these? Can we make more? This is the Book of Magic, I think. This is the one that like really kicked it off for them, in my opinion. I've got Sunset Horizon. I've never used this one. It just took too long to come. This is the New Romance palette. Pry it out of my cold dead hands, please. Try to, at least. This is the Retro Love. I'm gonna keep all of the Beauty Bay ones. Okay, the rest of my Beauty Bay collection is kind of like trapped by my Melt palettes. So let's look at the Melt ones. This is Melt Gemini. This is my original one. I have the new version, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this one. I have the Blueprint palette. Super duper cute. I'm gonna keep that. I also have my Smoke Sessions. Super cute. She's in Parties by Melt. Why am I keeping these? Oh, actually it's because Melt palettes like are super messy, so I'm gonna keep that. This I need to get rid of. I never use this. It's the Indulgence palette. It was like a Sephora thing. I don't know. I think I can get rid of the rust. I keep these to reference, but then I never freaking do. So here is the new Melt Gemini palette. It's brand spanking new. As you can see, it's untouched. I'm going to get rid of this one. This is the 420. I did not like this palette. Ugh, I feel like I should give it another chance. Okay, I'll try and give it another chance. Ugh, I like Melt so much. This is the Gemini palette. Super pretty. Mary Jane palette. This is a cool tone palette from Melt. Not my favorite, but I'll hold on to it. And then this is the Mariposa palette from 2021. I remember ordering this palette when I was in the hospital with the first baby, so I will never get rid of this, of course. Okay, these are the newest palettes from Melt. I have the Christmas Town and the Halloween Town. I will say I like the Christmas Town just a little bit more than the Halloween Town, but I'm going to keep both of them. And then we have Morte and Vita, and of course they relaunch Morte, and I bought an extra one because I'm freaking psychotic. So it's a little excessive, but I'm going to keep my spare because you know I'm going to pan it, right? This is the, I don't even remember what this one was called, the Electrip. And I feel like a lot of people didn't love this one, but I thought it was fine. I'm going to keep it. And no way in hell am I getting rid of my Beetlejuice palettes from Melt. Remember the days when Melt would like sell out right at launch? Those were the good old days, y'all. Okay, now I have access to the rest of my Beauty Bay palettes. This is the Wilderness palette. Like, how freaking gorgeous. The Berries. I am going to get rid of the Nikki Tutorials collab palette. I just don't really like this one. These I'm going to have to keep. This is the Midnight. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. This is the Beauty Bay Earthy palette. This is the collab they did with somebody called Jade. I guess I could get rid of this one. And then I have this one, which is their Bright palette. Also really pretty. I just never reach for it. I'll keep it for one more year. It's fine. Okay, honestly, I love my Be Perfect palettes, but I think it's time. I think it's time to let go. I don't know. What do you think? Am I crazy? This was like one of my favorite palettes when I ranked back in the day, whatever year, but I don't know. I can definitely get rid of this one, the Excel. This is the Antidote palette. It's so massive. Okay, I think I'll get rid of at least that one and keep these three, but I feel like I could part with all three if I'm gonna be completely honest with myself, but I can't help it. I feel like I need to hold on. Okay, so I think it's gonna get a little ruthless here with BH because I just don't think BH is gonna make the comeback I was hoping that they would make, so I don't know if I'm going to hold on to these. This is cute. It's the Do Not Disturb, but I think I'm just going to let it go. Like, why am I holding on to this stuff? This is cute, but I don't need it. This is the Let That Shit Go palette, so I'm going to let it go. I do like the Absinthe palette though, like as far as greens go. I'm going to get rid of it. Glowing in Grease, I don't need it. Avocado Toast, I'm going to get rid of. Trending in Tokyo, I'm not going to keep. I'm not going to keep this Tulum one. It's a face palette. Paris, I feel like I should keep. Iconic. Smitten in Switzerland, I'm not going to keep this one. And then I'm going to keep Blueberry Muffin one more year because the eyeshadow quality is amazing. Okay, I have this Poison Ivy palette, which was a collab between Milan Rowe and Doodles by the Bunny, but you can't get this anymore, and it was nice, but it's not something I'm gonna hang on to, so I'm gonna get rid of that. I kept this KKW Beauty palette because it was like iconic and I love this color story, but the brand doesn't even exist anymore, so I'm gonna pass both of these on. I'm gonna keep all 6 of these ice cream palettes from BH because I love them and I just don't feel like I could replace these ever. So I'm gonna keep these ones. This is the big neutral one. Let me just show them to you. Red one. We've got this cute green one. The quality on these is amazing, like on par with indie shadows. So I want to keep them for just a little bit longer. This is the pink one called Cotton Candy. Love it. Okay, so before I hit up my Unearthly collection, which is quite massive, let me just go through the last bit of BH that I have left. So I have this BFF palette. I don't want it. I have this 2000s palette, which is honestly really nice, but I'm going to pass it on. And then I love this palette, the Naughty palette. It's so good. The quality is amazing, but I just don't reach for it. And then the Lidless palette also had stunning quality, but I just don't want to keep it. So I'm going to get rid of these as well. Okay, it's time for the Unearthly palettes. I'm going to keep Spaced Out. This is pretty new. It's from their summer mystery box. The Grind palette, Amanda, are you bringing this one back? I'm going to keep that. I'm going to get rid of this one because I don't think it's going to come back. This is the Don't Be Jelly. They already remastered this one. This is their Serendipitous palette, I think is what it's called. It's cute, but I think it's discontinued. Fall Magic, I'm going to keep because I love the original color story. I don't think Fairy Floric is going to come back, so I'm going to declutter that. In the Dark, I think got reformulated. It's like smaller now, so I'm going to declutter. I'm going to declutter the Sleepover palette. Look at this. Look at it. Will you just look at it? This is the Resurgence palette. It is my friend Heather Austin's collab with Unearthly. Definitely keeping that. The Milkshake, the Strawberry Milkshake palette is so cute, but I'm going to declutter this because I think it's either getting discontinued or reformulated. These are just old, so I just need to like let go. This is the Lure palette. So beautiful, but I think, again, it's getting reformulated or it has been reformulated and I don't have the reformulated version. So I'm going to make room for their new stuff. I feel like I should be inspired by Angie and get rid of these because they're limited edition and nobody can get them. But these are like the good Unearthly formula, so I'm going to hold on to them. These are 2 of their new ones. We've got Fall Magic, the new version. Stunning. Don't Be Jelly, the new version. Stunning. I'm going to keep both. I am an Unearthly affiliate, so I do talk about them quite a bit, not just because I'm an affiliate, but because I genuinely love the brand. And so, yeah, I want to keep as much as I can, but I don't want to just keep for the sake of keeping. So this is the Leather and Lace. I'm going to keep that. I just used this the other day. I don't know if it's still going to be 50% off, but if it is, you should snag it. So good. We've got the beautiful Not Normal palette. All I ever wanted is a all shimmer palette. I'm going to keep these because she did gift these to me and I know they were so expensive, so I'm going to keep them. This Rudo in Rwanda is an amazing rainbow palette for deep skin tones. So I'm going to keep it, even though I think it's getting discontinued. This one is already, I think, discontinued. It's the Hauntingly Glamorous palette. Mine had a bit of a boo-boo in it, so I'm going to go ahead and pass this on because I don't need it. I feel like I'm going to keep the Weirdos because I love this color story, but these palettes are very fragile. I didn't love this one, the 1984, so I'm going to pass that on, and I'm going to pass on So Strange as well. I'm going to keep the warms my blood because it's a beautiful neutral palette, but also very fragile. I love this witching hour palette, but I think it's getting discontinued, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter it. I just want to make room for my Unearthly palettes right now. They're like stacked on top of each other and it sucks, so I want them to all have a beautiful home. This is the Devour palette, so stunning. This is the Get Groovy, also stunning. This is the Surrender palette from Valentine's, I'm keeping that. And then this is the Vitality, another beautiful rainbow palette from them. I'm going to keep that. And then I think this just has some beautiful Unearthly blushes, so I'm going to hold on to those, even though this is my eyeshadow palette video. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of quite a few Unearthly palettes. I wasn't expecting to, but these are all like either getting discontinued or already discontinued, so I might as well make room for new. Okay, so when I tell you I'm trying to make room for brands, I love that Love On Me. I feel like there's quite a few of them in this pile, so let's go ahead and keep going. But there's so many old palettes. I'm like, why am I keeping this? So this is with Elf and Jakissa. I don't even know if she makes videos anymore. I should look. This is the Earth and Ocean palette from Elf. It's so good, but I don't think they make this anymore, so I'm gonna get rid of it. This is from Terra Moon. It's their El Barrio palette, and they sent this to me in PR, and I was so excited because I love Terra Moon, but I'm ready to move on. I have the Mirage palette from Alter Ego. This was one of my favorite neutral palettes that I tried this year, so I'm going to hold on to that. This is the Aether Beauty palette that I bought because Terra Babies loves this brand, but they went out of business and I've literally never used this. So again, if somebody wants this, or if you guys think I should put it in a giveaway, let me know. I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of these Alter Ego palettes because I never actually like use them. And I love the Mirage, so I'm happy to have them. They do have a dupe to the Natasha Denona Metropolis, so if you wanted it, you could check that out. Their new palette just had such a good formula. I was really impressed. Okay, I've never used this palette. This is the Mean Girls and Profusion collab, and I love Mean Girls so much. It's so iconic, but I never use this palette, and I think it's time to let go. Okay, this Ladybug Glow palette, I don't think I tried this. The brand's come out with a bunch of new stuff since, and I'll have to keep my eye out for them in 2024. We've got the DD Signature, the Classic Autumn palette. Such a beautiful palette. They just came back. They took a break for a while, and now they're back, and their quality is just as good as I remember. So keeping that. This I've never used. It's the Hindash Beautopsy palette. I'm going to hold on to this, and I hope that I'll try it in 2024. Same with this Vanity Makeup. I think this brand also still exists, so I'm hoping I can try these two palettes in 2024, and if I don't, I need to declutter them next year. Okay, we are going to declutter the e.l.f. and Jen Atkins palette. I loved this, but I never reached for it. I think I'm going to declutter this Dream Big palette as well from Be Perfect. It's so beautiful, but I never reached for it. Same with this Rain palette that I bought from them. Just never use. I kind of want to keep this one because I never used it, but I don't even know if they make this anymore. This is their collab palette with the artist Ja. Let me get rid of it. It's fine. Somebody else can use it. My friends will love it. This is from OPV. They send me a bunch of their palettes. So beautiful. This is a UK-based indie brand, I think. And this is their Tropical Dreams. I'm going to go ahead and declutter both of these. Okay, we've got more. This is Gourmand Girls Figure Out palette. Really cute all shimmer palette. I feel like they have refined themselves so much this year and last year. So I'm going to move some of these along. This is their Radioactive palette. I don't need that. This is so cute. The Warriors Wear Pink palette. They did this in collaboration with Surya Soto. Love that one. I'm going to keep it. I am going to go ahead and declutter Sunset Beach from MBA Cosmetics. We've got the It's Freaking Bats palette from Shroud and Baddie Bean. We've got the Hello Bean palette with Shroud. And then we've got the Moonfall from Shroud. I'm going to keep, I think, those. I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Divinity. This is so old. This was also from when they were called Strobe. This is the Arcana palette. I'm going to keep that. This is one of their new palettes. This is Peaches and Dreams. They also just came out with one. I think it was called something Library, but I didn't get that one in PR and I didn't go out of my way to buy it, but it looked really cute. I'm going to go ahead and declutter these Alice palettes. Do I dare give these to my toddler to have fun with? Like, what is our verdict on that? Okay, I always kind of hated the Flower Punk palette from Kaleidos. I know some people love this color story, but I actually hate it, so I'm going to get rid of it. This is the Deep Sea Luster. This was their first palette. I grabbed this back in the day when I was following Angie, and I'm so glad I did, but like now, I mean, it's like iconic, right? So I feel like if somebody wanted this, I would be able to like sell it pretty easily, but like it's so old. Like, do you guys want this? Should I list it? Otherwise, I think I'm going to hold on to it. This is the OPV Spotlight palette that they sent me. I'm going to declutter. We've got the beautiful Nearly Neutral from Glaminatrix. We've got the Sugar and Spice, so cute. We've got the Rich Romantics palette, so cute. The iconic Club Nebula. Okay, hear me out. I got one in PR and then I bought one because I wanted to have a backup, but realistically, I'm never going to get through this palette. So would somebody want the extra one I have? It's old, but it's never been used and I wouldn't mind putting it in a giveaway. I just want to like figure out how you guys feel about it. Like, is it too old for me to give away in good conscience, or would some of you just be so excited to have a chance to win it that I should try and put it in a giveaway? I'm going to keep the Escape Pod, but let me know, ponder on that and let me know what you think. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this Terra Moon Cosmic Wanderer palette. Actually, it's so pretty. I'm going to keep it. Never mind. I have these two from What's Up Beauty, their Monsoon palette and their Geode palette. I do like their new Dragon's Eye palette better than both of these. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those two. This is the little Clionadh Deep Sea Treasures palette. It's all these beautiful stained glass shadows. I'm going to keep that. This little sleeve is so cute. We have more Glaminatrix. This is the Into the Night palette. I have the Nocturnal palette. I've got the beautiful Glamorous palette. I have the Clionadh Dragon Fruit palette, so pretty. I have Silent Night. This one's discontinued from Glaminatrix. The You Beauty palette. Oops, there it is. And then we have the Sandra Rose, which I've never used, but I totally bought this because it was Annette's favorite palette of one of these past years, and I was like, well, if Annette loves it, I'm gonna love it. So I'm gonna keep it and hopefully use it someday. Don't have that much left, so let's just keep going. So this is a newer to me brand, Simply Posh Cosmetics. I have a few of their palettes. So this is their Citrus Punch. I actually haven't used this one because it came out right when I had my second daughter, and so I just haven't had the time to play with it. This is their first palette. I think it's called Fairy Tale something. What is this called? Oh my god. Fairy Tale Fairies. Super cute. We've got the Genuine Gems and we've got the Very Icy palette. I'm going to keep all of those. This is the Color Trip palette from Cash Beauty. I don't think I've ever used this. I'm going to declutter it. I'm going to declutter this one as well. This is the Jam Rocks palette from Playing with Color by Yolanda. I bought this to try the brand and I never did, so I'm going to pass it on. I'm going to finally get rid of my Jacqueline palettes from Morphe. I know these are iconic, but I never reach for them and I don't think I ever will. The Tati Beauty palette I'm gonna keep. I'm like, this is iconic, but I'm not gonna keep it. But these ones I am. And I'm gonna keep these ones, even though I never use them. They're the Made by Mitchell eyeshadow palettes. I just think they're so fun. This is the Do You Want Some Milk palette. And then we have the Head in the Clouds palette. So I just love how he plays with color in all aspects of his life. So yeah, I'm gonna keep these 3. Okay, y'all, it's the home stretch. Let's go. I don't even know where to start. Okay, I have this palette, the Moth and the Moon palette. I bought this with my own money. I haven't featured it on my channel yet, but the video is definitely coming. Okay, I'm gonna show you all of my Martine palettes other than the pastel one. This is my newest palette from them. It's their, I think it's called their Mayday palette. I cannot wait to do a look with this. I also have this one. It's the race car palette that they did, or like racing palette. Took me forever to get that one from Beauty Bay, so eventually I'll do like a 3 looks with 3 palettes video with these. This is their Mula palette. I did get sent this kind of late in PR from ColourPop last year. It's one of their like eyeshadow vaults. So what I think I'm gonna do is put this in a giveaway if that's something one of you might be interested in. But yeah, I kind of regret like not doing anything with it and holding on to it for this long, but I think I kind of forgot that it was here. So this is another Martine Cosmetics palette. I forgot the name, but how pretty. It's so grungy. This is their holiday palette they did last year. Super cute. And then I have this one. I don't think I've used this one either. I don't know. But I have purchased all of these with my own money. So I think there's a 3 looks video coming with these palettes. I don't know why there's glue on this one. Oh, now it's stuck to my finger. Great. Okay, let's see here. I have the Samantha March and OFRA palette. I'm going to keep that because I love her. This I bought to film a video, but I never did. So I'm going to put this either in a giveaway or I'll probably gift this to a friend because it's brand new. I've never used it. Okay, I bought the Garfield collection with Glamlite. I hope you guys watched the video I filmed with this palette. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. This is the Bella Beaute Angles of Illumination round 4. Glamlite randomly sent me their Hershey Kisses collection. I have this one. Actually, they sent me the whole collection. I'm going to keep this one probably and just give away the neutral palette because I don't need any more neutral palettes. So that's my thought process right now. But they did send me those and I'm so happy they did because that was the only collection I didn't go out of my way to buy. This is the latest Simply Posh palette. It's called Aurora Lights. How freaking stunning. Okay, I think I'm going to declutter this one from Moira. I did try Moira this year, and this is a nice palette. I just don't see myself like going back into this. So that's why I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to somebody else. My goodness, that was so much work, but it's a really pretty color story, and I thought it performed really well. So that's that. I really got into Bella Beaute Bar this year, and I'm on their PR list, you guys. I'm so happy. I love their stuff. This is their basic witch palette. This is the Strange and Unusual. I did buy this one with my own monies. Ugh, they did reformulate this, but I think I'm okay with the one I have. This is the Recently De-Influenced palette. So stunning. This I bought with my own money as well. It is the Pastel Garden palette. Are you freaking kidding me? We have the Sun and the Sea. Looks like that. This is the Smoky Glam palette. And then we have the Best Mattes as well. I did buy this one with my own money as well. So that is my Bella Beaute Bar collection. And then I have some newer palettes to me. I just got this. I haven't even opened it or filmed with it. It's the Fatally Yours palette from Melt and Bailey Sarian. So I just need to play with this. It's like on my list. So stunning. So glad that they finally collab. Like, it was time, right? Okay, here's all my faves from Gourmand girls. The gang's all here. They did all of these with Doodles by the Bunny. This is the Silent Night palette. I love it. I love that they departed from the greens and the purples. That's the Haunted. This is the Spooked. And then we have the Nightshade palette. So good. I love when I see a brand making progress. Okay, here's another brand that I am ready to love on in 2024. This is the Twisted Tea Party palette from Ensley Rain Cosmetics. I just started trying them this year and I love. This is the Abscission palette from Artitude. This is so nice, you guys. I think I only have like 2 or 3 palettes from them. This is the Harvest Moon palette from Ensley Rain. Stunning. I'm gonna totally buy their Cold Moon palette as well. This is the Strawberry Moon. Are you kidding me? Probably one of my favorite palettes of this year. And then I have another one somewhere. We'll get to it. I did try Gloss Guards this year. This is the Color of Rain palette. And then we have the Lavender Skies. I'm going to declutter these two because I don't think I would reuse these. Okay, and then we have my Cosmic Beauty collection. Another brand that I'm so happy to feature on my channel. This is their Gothic palette that they came out with this year. This is the Serenity palette, the palette that really started it all for me. This is the Royal Rose palette that they discontinued. This is the Delicious Delights. Oh god, my purple is completely shattered, but love that so much. And then we have the Muse palette, so cute and grungy. I have one of these palettes from Wicked Widow. This is the Scissorhands Part 2, I think. And then these are my November ranking palettes, and I have them ranked. So maybe it'll give it away, but who cares? Who cares? You can watch them twice over. So I have the Zulu palette. I'm going to give that away once I'm done filming this video. I've got the Glamlite Friday the 13th palette. We've got the 2 Nightmare on Elm Street palettes from Glamlite as well. And then we have the Dragon Eye palette from What's Up Beauty. So cute. This one I love from Wicked Widow. It's their Graveyard Smash palette. I have the Komodo palette from Clarity Cosmetics. I have the 2 Oden's Eye holiday palettes. This is the Snow Dream palette and the Hey Reindeer palette. So you didn't see these ones because I was going to rank them. We have the Ghostface palette from Glamlite. I have another Simply Posh palette. This is the Cozy Cabin. So stunning. I've got the Lethal... what is this one called? It's like Midnight Serenade or something. Super pretty neutral palette from them. I have this little 6-pan of the Lost Library collection from Fantasy Cosmetica. Not really a palette. It's more of a single eyeshadow thing, but it was in the ranking, so I'll just show it to you. This is one of my new favorites from Juvia's Place. It's their new Afro Galactic palette. So underrated. Huda Pretty Grunge. This was her 2023 holiday palette. So when I showed you the other ones I've collected, this is the one for this year. And then we have more. There's more. We've got the Sorcerer's Smoke palette from Unearthly. I've got the Jingle Bell Ruby palette from DD Signature. Oh my gosh, so stunning, right? And then I have more. This is the Makina palette from Blend Bunny. I've got the beautiful Lands of Enchantment palette from Ensley Rain. Oh my gosh, I have to reach over everything. Okay, hold on. We've got this beautiful palette from Adept. It's the Element 115. I've got the Abella Beaute Bar Bejewel palette. This is So freaking stunning, I can't even. And then the last palette I think I'm going to show you in this video is the Winter Wonderland palette from Cosmic Beauty. Okay friends, I hope you enjoyed my eyeshadow palette collection and declutter video. Definitely let me know your thoughts down below if you have anything to share, any brilliant insights. I've been truly enjoying your comments throughout my collection and declutter series. I did start a small playlist with my 4 videos if you want to check that out in case you missed my lip declutter, my blush and like face palettes and all of that declutter, as well as like my foundation, concealer, and things like that. So I have 3 other videos in case you missed those. Check them out. But I truly appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video till the end. If you are here and you checked the whole thing out, definitely leave a heart emoji. It means so much to me, and I truly appreciate you guys for all your support this year especially. It's been a wild ride. I cannot wait to do my eyeshadow palette ranking and maybe the best or worst makeup of 2023. I don't know. I always get like really like about picking out my favorites, but we might make it happen. So anyways, thank you guys so much for a wonderful year. I hope you guys have a fabulous start to 2024, and I will see you in the new year very soon. Bye!